In 2008, Elon Musk was broke. Not struggling, not stressed, completely broke. SpaceX had just failed its third rocket launch in a row. Tesla was on the verge of bankruptcy, and Musk had put every single dollar he had into both companies. He was sleeping on friends' couches, borrowing money to pay his rent. The man who is today worth over $800 billion was one failed rocket launch away from losing everything forever. So what happened, and what does it teach us about money, risk, and building real wealth? That is exactly what we are going to break down today. Welcome back to Million Mindset, where we break down the psychology of wealth, success, and the mindset that separates ordinary people from extraordinary ones. Elon Musk is one of the most controversial and fascinating people alive today. People either love him or hate him. But whether you like him or not, the way he thinks about money, risk, and building businesses is unlike anyone else on the planet. Today, we are not talking about his companies or his tweets. We are going deeper into the 5 lessons from his life that directly apply to how you build wealth starting from zero. Let's get into it. Lesson number 1. If you truly believe in something, bet everything on it. In 2002, Elon Musk sold his share of PayPal for $180 million. Most people in that position would have bought a mansion, invested conservatively, and lived comfortably for the rest of their life. Musk did the opposite. He put $100 million into SpaceX. He put $70 million into Tesla. He put $10 million into SolarCity. He invested his entire PayPal fortune into 3 companies that almost everyone, including his closest friends, told him would fail. His own co-founders at SpaceX publicly said the company had no chance. But Musk had done the calculations. He genuinely believed that making humanity multi-planetary was not just possible, it was necessary, and he was willing to lose everything to prove it. The lesson is not to be reckless with your money. The lesson is this: most people never build real wealth because they never fully commit to anything. They put one foot in and keep the other foot out, just in case. Real wealth is almost always built by people who committed completely to a vision that others thought was crazy. Lesson number 2. The fear of failure costs more than failure ever will. When SpaceX's third rocket failed in 2008, Musk had enough money for exactly one more launch attempt. One shot. If it failed, SpaceX was finished forever. Most people in that situation would have stopped, cut their losses, declared bankruptcy, and moved on. Musk launched the 4th rocket. It worked. SpaceX became the first privately funded company in history to reach orbit. 6 months later, NASA gave SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract. Now think about what would have happened if Musk had let the fear of a 4th failure stop him after the 3rd one. No SpaceX, no Tesla probably, no Starlink, no Starship. The fear of failure is the single biggest wealth killer in the world. Not bad investments, not bad luck, not the economy. Fear. Every time you do not start a business because it might fail, that fear is costing you money. Every time you do not invest because the market might go down, that fear is costing you money. Failure has a price, but fear of failure costs infinitely more. Lesson number 3. Outwork everyone around you, especially in the beginning. Elon Musk has spoken openly about working 100-hour weeks in the early days of Tesla and SpaceX. He has said, if other people are working 40 hours a week and you work 100 hours a week, in 1 year you will achieve what takes them 4 years. Now, this is not advice to destroy your health, and Musk himself has admitted the toll that lifestyle took on him personally, but the principle behind it is undeniable. When you are starting from zero, whether it is a business, an investment portfolio, or a YouTube channel, the early phase requires disproportionate effort. You cannot coast in the beginning. You cannot work casually and expect extraordinary results. The people who build wealth fastest are almost always the ones who are willing to sacrifice comfort in the short term for freedom in the long term. Work hard when others are sleeping, learn when others are watching television, build when others are complaining. That gap between what you do with your time and what everyone else does, is where wealth is built. Lesson number 4. Stop copying what everyone else does. Think from scratch. This is probably the most powerful mental tool Elon Musk uses, and almost nobody talks about it. It is called first principles thinking. Here is what it means. Instead of looking at how things are currently done and copying that, you break the problem down to its most basic facts and build your solution from scratch. When Musk wanted to build rockets, he looked at the cost of raw materials, aerospace-grade aluminum, carbon fiber, rocket fuel. He discovered that the raw materials to build a rocket cost about 2% of what aerospace companies were charging for finished rockets. So instead of accepting the industry prices fixed, he built his own rockets from scratch using first principles. SpaceX now builds rockets for 10 times less than its competitors. How does this apply to your finances? Stop copying the financial decisions of people around you just because that is what everyone does. Question everything. Why do you need a new car every 3 years? Why do you need the biggest apartment you can afford? Why does your money sit in a savings account earning 1% when inflation is running at 6%? First principles thinking applied to your finances will save you more money than any budgeting app ever will. Lesson number 5. Stop chasing money. Start solving problems. This is the lesson that ties everything together. Elon Musk has said repeatedly that he does not actually care about money. He cares about solving problems that matter. Electric vehicles, because fossil fuels are destroying the planet. Reusable rockets, because space travel needs to become affordable. Neural interfaces, because AI poses an existential risk to humanity. Every company Musk has built started with a massive problem he genuinely wanted to solve. The money came as a result of solving those problems well. This is the exact opposite of how most people think about wealth. Most people ask, how do I make more money? The better question, the question that actually leads to wealth, is how do I create more value for more people? The more people whose lives you improve, the more money flows to you naturally. You do not need to solve problems as big as Musk's, but the principle scales down perfectly. Start a business that genuinely helps people. Build a skill that makes other people's lives easier. Create content that teaches people something valuable. Stop chasing money. Start creating value. The money will follow. Elon Musk is not a perfect person. He makes mistakes. He says controversial things. He has failed publicly more times than most people fail privately. But the way he thinks about risk, failure, work, and value creation, those lessons are genuinely priceless. So here is your challenge this week. Pick one of these 5 lessons and apply it to one financial decision in your life right now. Are you letting fear stop you from starting something? Are you copying financial habits that were never working for anyone? Are you chasing money instead of creating value? If this video gave you a new perspective, share it with someone who needs to hear it today, and subscribe to Million Mindset. Because next week we are breaking down the hidden lessons from one of the most powerful books ever written about wealth and the human mind. See you then.